People are going to think that you should be licking windows for a living with that face. Welcome to Lost the Plot with M and J, or J and M. What are we saying this time?
Welcome to Lost the Plot. I was going to do my famous wave. Hang on, which arm should I start with?
Ladies, snap him up now. He's single and ready to mingle. Look at him go. You know what? The way it does, it actually disappears. Your neck's gone, you weirdo. I can't believe you're single. How could you not possibly be married with all that talent, mate?
I was with someone for 12 years and it didn't work out because I couldn't have kids. Because I have a condition that I never knew about. When we went down the IVF path, found out that I had Klinefelters and I can't have kids. So we broke up. That and a few other reasons, which I won't make public on air.
No, well, they're irrelevant, aren't they? Because it's ancient history.
Exactly. That was ages ago.
Yeah. I don't know. I've actually never been in that position. Lots of relationships do break down when one partner can't have children and it's really important to the other person.
Maybe I should just be gay. Maybe I should be gay.
Oh my God, you make a great gay man. You're just fabulous. I think you could be gay. Let's just do it and see what happens.
You know what? It'll broaden my horizons.
Broaden something. As long
sorry,
as he's nice and I get along well.
You mean widen something?
Or widen your horizons, maybe not broaden. So are we looking for girls and boys for you now?
No.
Oh. As long as I get along well with them.
I have friends that are. I have heaps of friends that are. I shouldn't even categorize them. They're just people, you know. I'm not going to say that they're gay. That I have friends that are gay, but you know, my gay mates, they're awesome. I love them. I've been away with them on holidays. You know, partying with them. You know,
it's so much fun. I had a brother-in-law years ago, and him and his partner were obviously two men, two very professional men, like brilliant boys, really lovely. But my God, they could party, and you could tell the level of drunkenness by what was playing on the stereo. So as soon as Whitney Houston and Cyndi Lauper and what's the other one, Celine Dion, that was sort of like midway tanked. But when Nina Simone came out and Ella Fitzgerald, then that's when you knew they were like half an hour away from getting into bed. Yeah. They were great to party with. Actually,
it's funny when I think about it now, because this just popped into my mind just like this second, right? Fuck, this is dangerous, eh, when things pop into my mind.
I actually instinctively held on to my chair, but yeah, go on.
You know how the gay guys usually, like, maybe I'm stereotyping here and, you know, correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, yeah.
But they live a carefree life, okay? They work hard. They're really hard workers. They're really good at what they do. They party hard. They go on holidays together. There could be a few of them that adopt kids, but a lot of them don't, but a few of them do. And they just lead that, you know, that lifestyle. And that's the lifestyle I've been leading, but in a heterosexual sort of sense, because I like women. But my lifestyle has been like that because I can't have kids.
Yeah.
And because I haven't been, you know, I've only been with one person that has had kids, but because the rest of that, I haven't had, you know, relationships with kids.
Yeah.
I've led that lifestyle, and they're the type of women that I've actually met as well. So I'm a gay man in a straight man's body.
And while you were saying that, I'm thinking, oh my God, that sounds so peaceful and drama free. Where can I get a gay man? I think you hit the nail on the head.
You know what? It so is. It's
we've been doing this all wrong.
Well, you know what? Look, everybody leaves school, they have kids, they get a good job. Sorry, not in that order. They leave school, they get a good job. They study, they get a good job. They might do some traveling, and then they, you know, fall pregnant, have kids, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
my era. You know, a lot of professional women now want kids at 45 because they've done all that, and they still have a maternal instinct where they want kids. Well, good luck for you, because I'm not going to be fucking 65 with a 25-year-old. I can tell you that now. In my case, 70.
I was 30 when I had Xavier, and I think I had my career well and truly under control. I did everything I needed to do by that time. 30 for me was a good age. And I met someone recently who's gone back and had another child, and that child's 2, and their eldest is 14, and like their baby is 14 rather, and then they have kids above them, and then they've got this new one that's 2, and I just think, wow, what a culture shock. And the dad who I was speaking to actually assured me that parenting was so much easier this time around because you're not stressing about everything that you were stressing about with your other kids, and you're older, you have a different perspective on things. And I'm like, fuck that. I'm sure there's a very good case for it. No, Sandpit's closed for that. Yeah. I think if I met someone and they couldn't have children, or they had a vasectomy, or there was some sort of medical reason why they couldn't have children, for me it wouldn't be a deal breaker, because some of my friends are in long-term relationships, in boy and girl relationships, and they don't have children, and it suits them. They love it. They didn't feel the need to have children. They didn't want to have children. I actually never wanted to have children at all. They just weren't on my radar. Never thought about it until I got positive on the pregnancy test, because I was still carrying a firearm every single day. My life was my job. I fucking loved my job so much. That doesn't mean I don't love my son, obviously. He'll be 15 this November, but it's a very different. And I knew that I was going to be a career girl. I never thought I would be a mother. I didn't associate motherhood with me.
You know what? How long have I known you for?
Over a year and a bit.
I fucking never knew you had a son.
Yes, you did. You said that last time, you dipshit.
Did I?
Yeah, you're getting old. You've got dementia. Yeah, you said I told you that very early on, and then a couple months ago, you said, I didn't know you had a son. I'm like, dude, I already told you. Why would I not tell you? Not a secret.
I didn't know you had a son.
Yeah, he's lovely. He's about 6'2" now.
Was I drunk when you told me?
Probably. It was in the middle of the day.
I was definitely drunk then.
I don't know. I think it was in one about, but you know what? When we used to ring each other when we first met, and our conversations would sometimes go for an hour. I think it was in one of those conversations. And we were like, it was like you just met your best friend and you hadn't seen them for 10 years. So we were rapid firing a lot of conversations back then. So it was probably lost in translation, or you probably put the phone down and wandered off and got distracted with something pretty shiny and then came back and finished the conversation.
What did you say? Sorry? No,
exactly.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe it was.
Yeah. So I hung up the duty belt and the firearm and got pregnant. Well, I was pregnant and had to hang up the duty belt and the firearm.
Tell me something, and a lot of people would love to know this, because there's a lot of people out there that I want to be mediums or card readers or whatever else, BS they want to be.
So supportive. He's a builder, ladies and gentlemen. He can't help himself. Go on, carry on.
I'm a project manager, okay? If you need any trade for any work, for anything around your home or office, I'll make it happen. From start to finish, all you deal with is me. And I'm an easy person to deal with, by the way.
Oh, sorry, the camera was on. Yep. Yeah. Go on, what was your question?
Can you see dead people?
Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah.
Really? Because remember when you were at my house and you said you saw a black dog running around?
Yeah, up the front. Like when you just before, when you go past the roses and then you go down, a little bit, and then you go down your stairs.
Yeah.
Like that was girl speak, wasn't it? That's total in the feminine then. Yeah, it's up on the patio of the top house. Very interesting.
You saw a black dog. Did it have any white?
If it had any white, it was probably underneath. I more saw it from the top.
I've got to show you something, okay? I'm just going to disappear for a second.
Oh God, don't get distracted and forget to come back, will you?
Just yell out because I'm just on the other side of the house.
I wonder if he'll come back and do his dance.
I'm still here. I can hear you, you know.
Oh, I love how organized he is. I actually love the fact that he's just so scattered half the time, and he's like a little ditherer. Can you imagine him as an old man? He'd just be like fucking wandering off and chatting up all the chicks in the nursing home. Oh, you're back.
I wouldn't do that. Hey, this is me like about 15 years ago with my dog, but he's only got color on his chest and his paws, but the whole top of him is black.
Ah, he's only short too, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a
not
Kelpie.
tall. Yeah, yeah, that's him. He was on the front veranda when I arrived.
So he's actually over here. I actually had him cremated and boxed.
That is funny.
Yeah.
Because I actually thought his energy was so strong and so playful that I was actually looking for the live dog. I fully expected him to bark.
He was my favorite of all time, that dog. He was my, you know, I'd hate to say this, but when he passed away, I was absolutely devastated. Like I took him for his last day, and he had this, you know, just this bed, you know, with the, it wasn't hard. It was just a soft one, you know, just a plush, you know, the plush one, and the, you know, the middle, how it's nice and plush. So he used to curl up in that. He loved that bed. But whenever he's with it and you pick up a dog like that, they'll flinch, you know, because they're like on unsteady ground. On his very last day, I had to get him put down because he had cancer, and the cancer spread very quickly, and the vet couldn't do anything about it. Plus, he was 13 years old. He was, I took him for one last swim down near my place. There's like a little bay area about 100 meters up the road. And he loved it there. It was his favorite spot. And he went for a swim for about 5 minutes, came back on the beach, and he was purely exhausted. And I took him for a last swim. I put him on his bed. I lifted him up, and he knew that it was time.
Yeah.
He absolutely knew. I had him on the front seat of the car the whole way. He was just staring at me the whole time. He was just like, but he couldn't move because he was so, the cancer made it to his brain. So the cancer made it to his brain. So there was times where he had convulsions, and I knew it was time. You know, I wanted him to live forever. And, you know, I could have put him down maybe a week or 2 weeks earlier, but I didn't, because I wanted him to be with me. It was the hardest time.
Yeah. Yeah. So Zizi's got cancer. And when we went to see the oncologist, because the vet said, oh, I haven't seen a cancer like this. I don't really know what I'm doing. You need to go see an oncologist. And then off we toddled, did that. The oncologist said, oh, there's all these things, but his quality of life is not going to be there. And you can do radiography or radiotherapy, but his quality of life is not going to be there. And you could do this, but then this will happen, and his quality of life is not going to be there. And you might get 200 days, you might get 500 days. And I'm looking at Steve, and I'm like, quality of life is everything. I've worked in hospice, I worked in palliative, I'm a medium, I see people transition all the time. I didn't want to do that to C's, and I came home and said to my partner, you're going to fight me if you think that I'm going to budge on chemo or any sort of therapy whatsoever. Let's do it naturally. The oncologist said, if you do it naturally, he will go downhill really quickly. You'll probably have 3 months. Well, I can honestly, hand on heart, tell you, he's still running around, still farting, snoring, being his normal boisterous self. He's lost probably about 8 or 10 kilos. And he's a big German Shepherd. He was 54, so he's got plenty of space there to move. But he's having his supplements every day. His quality of life is still there. He can eat. One of the things the oncologist said, that with the treatment, they would have to be so intense with it that his mouth would become sore, he wouldn't be able to eat. And That would be an ongoing thing. His hair would fall out. That would be an ongoing thing. They could guarantee that he'd have these side effects, but they couldn't guarantee how long or how severe. And I'm like, fuck that. I can't do that to him. He's, you know, he's such a fun, he's just, you know, when you just have that dog and they just, your whole heart just stops for them. Every animal I meet literally stops my heart because I'm such an animal person, much more than a human person. So for us, it's just now, you know, we've passed the 3-month mark. We're coming up very close to the 3-month mark. He's still running around. He's still doing everything. He gets his supplements every single day. Put him on a protocol that you'd put humans on. And everything that the oncologist said was going to take place hasn't taken place yet. So I spoke to you straight away as soon as we found out what was going on. And then you shared with me about Buddy. And I'm like, fuck, because that was such a quick transition from you finding out to Buddy passing. And I was like, fuck. But at least I've got Michael. He's been there. He's done that. He'll be able to talk to me. He'll get it, you know, when the time comes. And then Caesar's just like, stuff you all. I'm getting my favorite food every single day and I'm getting fucking supplements. I'm not going anywhere yet. So it's difficult because you know it's inevitable and you can't do anything about it. You can't fix it. And I'm a solutions expert, so I like to fix shit. But, you know, all you can do is the very best that you possibly can do for them. You know, that's it, isn't it? What else can you do? I didn't want him to go through anything more.
Love him while you have him, because like everything on this earth, everything has a shelf life. We have a shelf life. Animals have a shelf life. You know, when you buy a breed, you know what that shelf life is. Cats have a longer shelf life, unfortunately. Fucking cats.
Oh my God, I love cats. They're so naughty. I think my inner child is a cat.
I'm not a cat.
I find it so funny just doing naughty, stupid shit, just like a cat does. And I think about it so much that my face lights up before I'm going to do naughty, stupid shit. So I think I'm definitely a cat.
I'm not a cat person. So how do you one question I have to ask from your profession, and you know, you've had your own talkback radio show, haven't you? You've had your own TV show in the United States. Yeah. You worked alongside some big names. I won't mention those names for, you know, other reasons, but you've worked along a lot of you know, big named people in the industry. If you believe in energy, and same as me, I don't believe in heaven and hell. You know, you're a good person or you're not. I believe that, you know, the 10 commandments that we have, you know, they're vital to live by, because otherwise we'd be out there, you know, killing each other with no remorse. So it's good to have, you know, that discipline or that behavior embedded in us, which is a good thing. Fuck, and I went to Catholic schools most of my life up until year 11. Until I went from a Catholic boys' school, until I went from a Maris Brothers school to a fucking co-ed high school. It was like, fucking, I was released out of jail. But anyway, that's another story. I've never seen people smoke pot for lunch breaks, you know, and for the teacher to actually join in and have a cigarette, you know, with them. But if we don't believe in heaven and hell and you believe in energy and everything, how do you see dead people and where are they going?
I think
you say they transition. What, they're out there now?
So how it works for me, well, they don't like hang out with their family members. So if I'm doing, and mediums will have different ways of doing it. Some mediums are more, they can feel it, or they'll hear it, or they'll see it, or they'll just get a sense. So it's not necessarily a medium can see dead people, and if you can't see them right in front of you, you therefore are not a medium. That's not how it works. It's not as cookie cutter as some people might think it is. So for me, it's works in such a manner that I will ask them to come forward so I can hear their energy, and it's kind of like the energies still together. They won't, like if you ask me to call on your grandma, for example, grandma won't come to me in her frail old way, or if, you know, she did her last couple of years in a wheelchair, grandma will come to me in the prime of her life where she was the most happy. She will be able-bodied, because that's how she wants to be remembered. She doesn't want to be remembered as the weak old person at the end. She doesn't see herself like that. And every spirit that I engage with, it always comes through in the same manner. So I don't believe in heaven or hell either. I never have. I'm not a religious person in any way, shape or form. In every single reading I've ever done, and I have literally done tens of thousands of readings, I've not once said I am with God or I am in heaven. I've never heard it, not once. I've also never heard them say I'm in the darkness, I'm in purgatory, I'm in any of those human constraints so we can understand on some sort of level what happens. I think when people transition, it's the transition between earthbound heaviness and the lightness. So when people go to the light, I think they actually become light. So they're not bound by the human burdens of, you know, your 7 deadly sins, if you want to go along those lines. Is it, spirit only has one emotion, that's love. It is what it is. It's fifth dimensional living. So there's an acceptance that all things are as they are. 3-dimensional living is very caught in being consumed by what's going on around you. So it's a very human behavior. Stop it. It's a very human behavior for people to, you know, have all that anger. And I get a lot of people that will come to me and say, you know, right before my wife died, we had an argument. Is she still mad? Fuck no, absolutely not. That's a human thing. We're spirits having a human existence. And some people really get caught in that human experience and they really embed themselves in it, and they love their time here on earth, and we're here to learn about that, but we're also spirit having, which is why we transition into different things. All tied back into our astrology charts as well, as far as our north node or our soul contracts are concerned, what we need to learn to be able to evolve, to go to the next part of our lives or our lifetime together. But it's fascinating. But yeah, and my grandfather was very Catholic. I think he lived at the Catholic Church in Coonamundra. And, you know, everything was, he gave me his prayer book, you know, and he knew very early on that that was not something I would ever look at. Do I guard it with my life? Absolutely. If you touch his prayer book, I will break your fucking fingers, because I loved my grandfather and he loved me and nothing else mattered. But from a medium point of view, it's, I think that when I call them in, it's not like they're in a far away. It doesn't feel like they're a far away thing. It feels like they are just literally right there. They're not necessarily, I will see them sometimes just come through. I've had videos where I've been doing online readings for people in a public forum. And I've had a lady say to me, my father is standing, I can see my father in your curtain behind you. And then everyone's starting to see the father in the curtain behind as well. So it's very interesting how people see things as well. So it's really cool when I do rapid fire readings online, because I put up a green velvet curtain and spirit just seems to be able to manipulate the green velvet quite easily. So you will see faces a lot in it. It's cool. I love it. It's nice.
So where have they come from?
Where they come from, wherever they go. I don't really ask those questions.
So
I know that when I've asked somebody.
Can I ask my grandmother for the next lottery numbers?
You know what? I'd be wealthier than what I am if I knew the lotto numbers. That's a human shit. We don't get. I won't. I don't get involved in human shit. I'm just not interested in human stuff. Because
I've got about 16 grand that I've recently put on cryptocurrency. I want to know which crypto is going to go up.
Ask for guidance. There's lots of things you can do to ask for guidance, but you can manifest it too, because if energy is everywhere, it's only you and your emotional connection to what you want that stops you from getting it. So if you say, I really want a red Ferrari, and then you doubt for 1 minute that you're not going to be able to get it. I really want one, but you know what? I can't afford it. You've already doubted yourself. It's never going to happen. You've created that doubt. So self-loathing, self-negative talk, thinking, you know, that you don't have strong boundaries, you don't have a decent self-worth. Boundaries need to be in place before your self-worth kicks in. That's just the way it is. Practice on strangers if you're having trouble with your self-worth and your boundaries. but you need all of that, and then you can start manifesting whatever you want. I manifest heaps. I manifested you. I manifested my motorcycle. I've manifested holidays. I've manifested houses. It's yeah, I've even written a published book on the manual for manifesting. So because
What's
it's
it
not
called?
the manual for manifesting.
The Manual for Manifesting
Yeah, by me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Get a copy for me. You can go to my website, insightsbyjohnita.com.au, I think it is.
Insight by
By
Johnita.
Johnita.com. Yeah.
Is there an
And then-
AU at the end?
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
Let me have a look. Because, and you can reach out to me there if you want a reading or you want to have a look at the manual. But yeah, it's interesting. It's a lot of fun.
Mhm.
And it shouldn't be difficult. Yeah, insightsbyjohnita.com.
Insight.
Insights.
Insights
Yeah,
with an S
yeah,
by Johnita.com.
yeah,
Insights by Johnita.com.
yeah.
JOHNITA.
You know how to spell that, you weirdo.
I do, but people listening might not.
Oh, they won't. I'm surprised you do. Everyone
Well,
gets it wrong. You know what? I had a guy say
I've got
to
it
me
saved
years
on my
ago.
phone as Johnita.
Oh, well, fair enough. You cheated. Well done. I had a guy tell me years ago, oh, so your name's Juanita. No, it's not Juanita. Oh, but it's spelled Juanita. It's not spelled Juanita. It doesn't have a one in it. And then he said, but if you're in Spain, I'm like, fuck, dude, I'm not in Spain. I'm in Australia. I don't look Spanish. It's fucking Johnita. It's not hard. And then they started calling me Joe. And I went through years of people calling me Joe because they were too lazy to say my name. And now I force people to say my name.
Say my name, say my name.
I know. It's not a difficult name. It's respectful. If you say to me, oh, you can call me Mick or Mike, that's different because you're giving me permission to shorten your name. But don't just do it because you're lazy. It's just rude. You call me Jay a lot, but I ignore you a lot too. So, you know, fair's fair and love and war, isn't
I'm
it?
too lazy to say Joe, that's why.
I knew it was coming. I thought his little ears would prick up and he would cling to this. Yeah, good on you. Yeah.
The I forgot what I was just about to say. A lot of people call me, I hate the name Mick. It just, I don't know why Mick just sounds so ochre to me. I just don't like
Doesn't
it.
sound like you.
And a lot of people call me Mike, but I prefer Michael.
Yeah.
Look, I don't blame him for calling me Magic Mike, but I prefer Michael.
I was waiting for the punchline. You know, I don't think I've called, no, I usually say or you, don't I?
Sorry?
I usually call you or you or hey.
Yeah.
Or the other day I said greetings earthlings when I rang you. You probably even didn't listen to my message. It was hilarious.
No, I didn't.
I knew you wouldn't. When I was leaving the message, I'm thinking he's not even going to listen to this. He's going to pick up his phone, see his missed call and just ring me. He's not going to listen. And you didn't, did you?
Fuck, I never listened to my voicemail messages, ever.
I'm leaving naughty one now. They'll be all over the place and force you to listen to them. And then I will quiz you on it later to see if you know. Like I'm on my way to your house, order a pizza and I want it Mexican with pineapple on it because it's the only way to eat it. And you won't know. You won't even know I'm coming to your house. There will be no fucking pizza when I arrive there. I'll be starving. You probably won't even be home. You'll be out on a freaking date. They'll be hungry and homeless and lonely. It'll be your fault because you didn't listen to your messages.
Oh, well.
Yeah, factor was there.
The date would have gone well. We had pizza on the date.
I'll just walk down the back of your house and eat pizza on your veranda and you can tell me about your day when you get home.
Well, you'll send me a picture of what someone else did in the past. You'll send me a picture of, you know, my backyard and I'll be like, what the fuck? When did you take this? And you're like, I'm there now.
Yeah, but I'll make sure I've got a portion of the pizza as well.
Yeah.
And maybe like a glass of wine on your veranda and then the pizza and then the water in the background.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be right.
Yeah, and probably my finger doing this, like that.
That's not very ladylike now, is it?
I don't know if I would associate myself with being ladylike.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm a
That's
gentleman.
weird. Yeah, I don't know if me and ladylike goes together. I think I'm too interested in being me. And when I think of a lady, I think of delicate and gentle and softly spoken and, it's sweetness. And I don't really associate me with anything like that.
Mhm.
Like they might go to the nail salon to get their nails done to relax. I go to the gym and lift heavy weights or jump on a Harley and go for a ride.
Mhm.
I don't really know if ladylike and me go together.
Yeah, I've got to jump on my bike later. Every Wednesday night I do a course, and I'm doing a course at the moment called what's it called? It's called How to Improve Your Relationship with Others. It's a fascinating course. It's really good.
You're learning lots?
Yeah, I am. And I'm learning it, but I'm also trying to implement it. So I'm trying to think a different way also, because I've been thinking in a certain way all my life. I'm trying to better myself as a person. So how to improve relationships with others. But then I'm doing another course straight after that about how to resolve disputes with others or something like that.
Oh,
it's
throat punch. Swift
Sorry?
throat punch. A throat punch. That's how you resolve issues with others. Throat punch. See, ladylike.
So I'm doing courses through Scientology. Did I tell you that?
Yeah.
Okay.
See, I actually do listen to you.
It's actually, I'm not going to blow their whistle or anything, but I find it really beneficial, because in the early stages, look, I don't know how Scientology works in terms of hierarchy or anything like that. I've got kind of like an understanding, but I don't know well enough to actually, verbally say what it's about. A lot of people are skeptical about it, but as they are with every new, I don't know, you can call it a religion, but I think they're a scientific-based religion. They're not a spiritual. I think they believe in the universe and energies and everything like that, but they're not a spiritual sort of like religion in regards to God, or a being being one highly, one highly being, but their courses that they offer are absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. You can do courses on relationships, motivation, communication. You can do courses on family, husband and wife. Instead of seeing a psychologist, go and do a course and better yourself and become a better person.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that what we said about religions in a previous podcast?
Yeah.
About, having a religion to be a better person?
Yeah.
I don't believe in religions in terms of there being a God, because you look out in the sky and our galaxy is, how big is our galaxy? There could be another life form, 100 million light years away that it may not look like us, but they're a force, and they have structure in their lives, and they have families and reproduction and food and things like that. So they may not believe in a God out there. It's only our planet that believes in a God.
Yeah.
That's the reason I don't believe in it. But with Scientology, it's different. It's like any religion. Like I have friends, I have very good friends. Some of my best friends are Seventh-day Adventists, for example. I have other friends, best friends that are Muslim. It doesn't matter what religion they are. A lot of these good religious places, I call it places, a lot of these good religions, they also offer courses within their own community how to be a better person. I mean, I went to a Seventh-day Adventist course, for relationships many, many, many years ago. And I found it extremely beneficial, you know. I found it really good, knowledgeable, and it sort of puts the man and the woman together. You can really sort of like resolve your whatever issues you have between you, because it teaches you about forgiveness and compromise and communication.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same as the course that I'm doing now, how to better your relationship with others. It's very, you can apply it to business, you can apply it to your partner, you can apply it to siblings, you know, it doesn't matter. You can use it anywhere. You know, it's like doing a sales course. You go out to TAFE or whatever and you do a sales course, you're bettering yourself. You know, and in sales, you might learn how to negotiate. You know, and all these courses offer something different. But you know what? If they're doing good to your own character, and if you're building knowledge within yourself, it fucking doesn't. It doesn't matter what you do, where you do it, as long as you're doing it.
Yeah.
And the beauty about it is that the teacher, it's like a classroom setting. So the teacher sits out the front, and there might be, you know, three or four students in there doing, you know, a course, but the teacher's done everything. She or he has done all the courses.
Yeah.
So she can help individual people in that room with the course that they're doing.
Yeah.
And you just sit there doing it at your own pace. Like, I get stuck on a lot of words because I'm European and I speak a fluent second language. Some words I get stuck on, you know, so they'll come over and we'll pull out the dictionary and, you know, we'll analyze that word, we'll put it in a sentence so that I fully understand it.
Yeah.
And, you know, these people are volunteering. They're not getting paid for this. It's purely voluntary work. I didn't even say that properly, did I?
You said it in the Croatian accent. It's all good.
Do that kind of Croatian accent.
I know, when you've said a couple of Croatian words to me and I'm like, what the fuck? So I've had to Google Translate, and then I try to think of something to say back, and then I'm thinking, oh my God, because you know how I get lost on Google Translate. I don't want to say the wrong thing to you because I would die of embarrassment, or if I hurt your feelings, I'd feel terrible. Yep. So, but sometimes, so now I just copy what you say and then I write it down so I don't spell it wrong. So, you know, because sometimes they can be a little temperamental with the words and you think you're saying one thing, but you do an O instead of an E, and then all of a sudden I've called you a name. I'm very mindful of that. Yeah.
So
very mindful.
Very mindful, eh?
Very mindful.
If you know what, if I used everything that I've learned so far in my studies, I'd be a very understanding person, but I want this to be, you know, a different thought process of different views between you and I. That's why, you know, I may not implement everything that I've learned, but I have learned a whole lot. When I go out there talking to clients for work, for example, or, you know, whether I'm going on a date with somebody, I'll always be mindful of how to be the best version of myself that I can.
Yeah.
But just for this podcast, you're getting straight, unfiltered knowledge straight from my head to you guys.
That's what it's supposed to be, because we're not like, you know, I think we just get together, have a chat and record it.
That's it.
Yeah. And then little pearls of wisdom comes out. And I think the more authentic we can be, not that you're not being authentic when you're drawing on your knowledge, whether it's been, you know, around for a while or whether it's newfound knowledge, but it's, I think the more authentic you can be, the more people resonate with it. Because there's nothing worse than listening to a podcast or listening to something and the person just has all the answers all the time. And it's like, well, how can you possibly have all the answers? Like, you're still learning. Did you just get to a point in your life where you stop learning because you know everything? For me, life is all, you know, learning all the time. So I will never get to a point. I will always apply the knowledge and experience that I've had up until this point. But then when I learn something, that doesn't exclude me from learning something new either, because, you know, like it's constant. Yeah, always. But I'm a big reflector as well. I like to reflect on things and reflect on not just my behaviors or what I was triggered by, also what that person was thinking, what that person was saying, what their body language was doing, how they were interacting with me. I reflect on everything. That's how I learn.
I've been interested in seeing a medium. I think I've seen palm readers and that before. Do you think palm reading is accurate?
Oh, that's a really good question. I've had probably 2 or 3 palm readers in my life. One was extremely well known here in New South Wales. Couldn't have
Name?
been, no, a person at a fair that I was also reading at, and this person was so incorrect, it was laughable.
Okay.
Right down to the point of saying I have no creative flair. I would struggle with anything creative. I literally paint. I can play musical instruments. I'm very, very creative. So that was completely wrong. I had another one tell me that a scar on my pinky, which was me actually doing, I was cornering on a dirt bike and come off and my pinky popped out of my hand. So I've got a really wicked scar there. And I had a palm reader tell me that that was a very good sign from a past life where I was something or other. I can't remember. It was a very long time ago. And I was thinking, dude, it's a fucking scar. Like, I remember when I did it on the dirt bike.
So palm readers, they're not accurate.
Well, I've had one lady who came in for a reading with me. She said, look, I'm just learning palms. And would you mind if I have a look at yours? She was brilliantly accurate. Absolutely accurate, like right down to finding a line on my lifeline that she said to me, you know what, I kind of feel that when you head towards 50, and I think it's a family trait that when you sort of head towards 50, you might need to watch your heart. My grandfather had triple bypass very early on. Biological father had his first angina at 42 years of age. She was uncannily accurate. So I really think it's the people that use their intuition as well as their skill. I find that the better readers, whether they're card readers or mediums or psychic, clairsentient, clairaudient, clairvoyant, clairempathy, everybody that has trust their own body, trust their own intuition while they're doing that reading, I think they're the ones that are much more accurate. The ones that pick up a book and say, I'm a card reader, and then they memorize every single card in the deck, and then they tell you based on what those definitions for the people that created the cards mean, and they're not actually creating a storyline, they're just pulling the cards out. I don't personally find them as accurate as the ones that do it intuitively. Yeah, because there's a level of trusting the energy and trusting the feelings that are coming in as well. Like I could pull over the death card and everyone goes, oh my God, everyone's going to die. And I'm like, dude, something needs to die before something can come through. Doesn't mean you're going to die. Even the forest knows that all the old trees need to die away before the new growth can come. You know, the eggs know.
So
seeds know.
So what do you think if there was a person that was into spirituality, into, you know, card reading or mediums or having their palms read or whatever, you know, if they were into that sort of, you know, scene, what would you recommend for them to go and see? A medium over a card reader? Because a card reader can pull out any fucking card that they wanted to and make up a story about it. But, you know, and people do actually learn to be these professions too. They don't necessarily have to have a gift, but which profession is more likely to have a gift than not?
Well, that's difficult. I think it comes down to the person and where their comfort is in the modality. So if you get someone who has been a psychic for a very long time, able to predict things, or even an astrologer, and then they start attuning more to the mediumship, or then they start picking up cards and playing, their go-to is going to be where they feel most safe and secure to receive the messages. That doesn't mean that they're like for you, for example, you're very touchy-feely. So if you came to me and I sat there and did a reading for you, I will get you to hold a crystal to give you something to touch and feel, because I won't use any tools when I'm doing a reading. I'll just blurt it all out. So because I find that the tools tend to slow me down, so I just channel and out it comes. Other people are not put off by you sitting there and having a conversation with them and just blurting it out. Some people think, oh, that's a bit weird. So I'll pull the cards out and get them to shuffle the cards while I'm doing their reading. And they think that the cards are coming out and doing that, but it's actually not, it's me channeling. So it really depends on the person and how comfortable they feel with what sort of reading that they are. If they've read something years ago that palm reading is a crock of shit, obviously they're not going to go and see a palm reader because that'd be a waste of their time and their money because they're already skeptical and they already think that's full of shit. I prefer anybody that can validate what's going on as well. So I think it's important to validate as well. I had a lady that come to see me for a reading in Mingara, and I said to her, you're looking for the watch and it's underneath the stairs in the really dark house. And she said, there are no stairs in my house. This is nonsense. You don't even understand what I'm saying. I said, okay, no worries. And I redirected her to somebody that could offer her a reading as well, who I also knew was a medium. That lady told her the exact same thing. The lady that wanted the reading said, oh, that's my mother's house. That's not my house. That's my mother's house. And there are brick staircases there. And then she started describing the house to the other reader that I was trying to describe to her. But this lady that sat down for the reading was absolutely positive that the watch that she had put away was in her own house, but it wasn't. And the dark house was because it was back in England and it was always stormy and cloud covered. And, it's very dark where the house was situated, as well as being underneath the stairs in this house. So we were both giving her the same information, but her ability to receive that information was different. And I think as a reader, you need to be able to say, if you have someone that you can't read for or that you're having trouble, you're human, you're still human. So just say to them, hey, this is what I'm getting. How did that fit for you? And work it out with them. If it's not right, it's not right. Sometimes if I'm doing speed reading, which I'm going to do one on the 26th of February for breast cancer research, and I might do 40 or 50 women in one night where they're just 10-minute reads and they're back to back. I could sometimes have 10 or 15 spirits waiting for people to come in, and I'll say, hey, is June with you? No, June's not with me. And there might be 4 or 5 people down the track that June goes, oh, she's with me. Because sometimes June is not standing there constantly. She's popping in and out, June being the dead person. So I have to wait for that person to come in and like, oh yeah, but I was at the bar and I was supposed to be in spot number 4, but I gave it to my friend Shirley. So even though June came back, Shirley popped in. So it's really, it's really a very interesting craft. But I think the honesty, transparency, authentic reader will always be the best reader for you, someone that you vibe with. It's got nothing to do with what modality or tool that they use, and everything to do with the person that you just feel like this person will be able to help me.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think of empaths?
Empaths to me are very victimy. They're stuck in victim. Empaths get crippled by going and doing the most basic mundane of things. A lot of empaths have trouble understanding what is theirs and what is someone else's, and they can get crippled by that. They can pick it up. It can be leading to disease, can lead to physical manifestation of discomfort in their lives, depression, anxiety, all sorts of things. If you want to hone a skill, clear empathy, which is being able to understand what is your pain, someone else's pain, and what is yours. So, you get a lot of people that can be sympathize or have compassion for another human being, but then they need to drop it and move it on. I can't help somebody who is stuck in victim because they want to be in victim. And, oh, every time I go to the supermarket, this happens. So you give them some tools to protect themselves, but they don't want to follow up any of those tools. They love being stuck in that victim stage. And I think for me, empathy is very victim driven because it's, you're allowing yourself to be a sponge. You're not putting boundaries in place. You're not doing anything to protect yourself from, alien energy, in a term, not as a culture or a community. And then you're sucking in all that energy and you're not actually teaching yourself how to understand what's yours and what somebody else's. So I actually did a whole workshop. I was teaching people about clear empathy and empathy, and why clear empathy is so important to be able to understand that skill, but not get caught in the victim.
Okay. Did you read your WhatsApp message I just sent you?
No.
You should.
Why? Are we having private conversations?
Yeah.
Did you ask me out on a date again? Oh, we were having lunch at work. We were having a lunch at work a little while ago, and one of my colleagues, who I absolutely adore, he's the coolest man ever. He said to I was doing something and I had my headset in, so he sends me the link for the Greek food place that we're all having lunch. Right, we're going to get Uber in, and then he's and I said to him, I write back to him, are you asking me out on a date? Because I'm clueless. I don't know that everybody's ordering in from this Greek place. He's like, and then he sent back the three little monkeys, hear no, speak no, see no. And I'm like, oh, cool. Well, you're paying. I can eat. That was quite funny. Yeah. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, look, I really have I haven't met someone who is a self-professed empath that is able to really get their shit together. It's when they actually start putting boundaries in place, getting some self-worth, getting some self-understanding, and really starting to hone their clear empathy skill. That's when it becomes empowerment, because your friend comes to you, she's crying, then you start crying, then you're both feeling bad, and then you both hate men, and it just spirals out of control. You haven't actually done anything to resolve the issue. You get consumed by the emotion, and there's no intelligent application of emotion. And I think there needs to be an intelligent application of emotion, because we're so much more than just our emotions. You can feel it, you can live it, you can grieve it, and fuck it off and get on with life, right? And empathic people tend to get stuck on that, going around and oh, I should have done something different. Fuck that. You did the best you could with what you had at the time. Start understanding your clear empathy, that their shit doesn't belong to me, because narcissists love empaths. So if you want to keep attracting and that energy, because you're in that constant state of being sponged and taking all that the negative and the positive, but mostly the negative, because that's where the most people vibrate at. They get that negative self-talk going on. You just do yourself a favor, do the work, get over it. Work on your clear empathy and fuck off that empath shit, because it's we need to do. We can't do it now because I'm going to the gym. I need to download my muscles. I would love to do a segment with you to get your take on it about unconditional love. I think we should do that next.
So did you have a look at your WhatsApp again?
I did. No. Will you stop texting me? I'm not going out on a date with you, Michael. You're too old for me.
You wish. But I'm seeing somebody.
Oh, what, yourself in the mirror?
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, no, I just asked about the empath. I don't know why I brought up the empaths.
Yeah.
Yeah, just anything else you want to say about it?
I don't think so. I mean, obviously, it's very trendy to be an empath. I have certainly seen a lot of people say, I'm an empath. No, they're fucking not. It's just a word you've learned somewhere. Everybody has all of the ability to do all 8 clairs. Okay. If you want to know about their clairs, check out my website. It's all listed on there, what each of those clairs and how to hone those skills. If you need some more information, reach out. I'm happy to do it, or put a comment in our podcast and we'll cover that topic. But clear empathy is where the empowerment is. It's really, it's not serving you, and you will not grow as a person if you keep taking on everyone else's shit and refuse to sift through it and get to the good stuff. And the good stuff really is that empowerment and self-worth and boundaries and loving yourself in such a way that you can strut through the shopping center and not take on everyone else's fucking garbage, because you deserve so much more than that.
Do empaths actually feel other people's like surrounding people, even if they don't know them?
Yeah, absolutely. But it's being able to identify that it belongs to them. And a lot of empaths and people that call themselves empaths say, oh, I feel their physical pain. It's not yours to feel. It's theirs. It's their path. If you're serious about helping somebody, learn that it's theirs, and then help them find tools. If you don't have the tools in your toolbox, and the knowledge already under your belt to be able to help them in a constructive way to get through whatever it is that they're going through. But sit down in the fucking library, get on Google with them, help them, take them for a picnic if they need to be distracted, do constructive things. Don't take on that energy, because they're coming to you because they're feeling in that, you know, the spiral of depression or anxiety or just sadness or whatever it is that they're feeling. You're not helping them by mirroring that image, by mirroring what they're going through. It's not helpful. And it's not helpful for you either, because if you continue to do it and telling yourself, I'm an empath and I always feel like this, it's just,
Yeah,
you're
but
not doing yourself good.
can't it be overwhelming for them to the point where it's debilitating?
Yeah, but they're in control of what they feel. Like, they're in control of how they process things. They can choose to, okay, so I've had an abusive childhood. I've had 3 abusive relationships. Now I can either sit here and cry about it and think, oh my God, all men are this and all my life is that. And I can be totally fucking consumed by the emotional trauma that keeps me in that same spot, or I can piss on it and walk away. I'm going to piss on it and walk away because it doesn't serve me to be in that constant state of trauma. I don't live in the trauma. Yes, it happened, but I don't need to live there.
That's easier said than done, though.
Look, it is a conscious decision that you need to choose to do. You don't do it on a Thursday. You do an affirmation, you pray to the full moon, you take your clothes off, you howl, you drink some fucking holy water, and all is fine Friday morning. It is a constant conditioning that you have to undo the conditioning that has already happened, undo the abuse and the trauma, and then you need to work on yourself. And the only way to do that is through boundary setting, through challenging yourself, through making a conscious decision to stop telling yourself that you're fat, you're ugly, everybody's right about you, you always attract the wrong people, I'm always in abusive relationships, I'm always going through this. You're telling yourself that. So you're allowing yourself to stay in that space. It's a conscious decision. If you're overweight and you want to lose weight, so many different portions to it. There's the health and nutrition, there's exercise. Most of it is mental, because if you sit on the couch and you say, I'm always going to be fat, and then you eat corn chips and then you go for a walk once a week, your mental state is not supporting what you're saying. You're sabotaging the entire way. And empaths do the same thing.
You're self-sabotaging.
Exactly. And empaths do the same thing. They get caught. Like, you know, even the monks say apply intelligent emotion, and people have told me for years, oh, you even have emotions. Yeah, I do, but I don't fucking live there. Like, if you hurt me, I'm going to go, wow, okay, that hurt. I'm going to have a cry. I'm going to get angry. I'm going to grieve. I'm going to go through the normal processes, and I'm going to allow myself to feel all those emotions. But then I've dealt with it. Why do I need to pack that up and put it in my fucking trailer, hitch it to my back, and carry that through me for the rest of my life? It's fucking heavy. I don't need to do that anymore. I've done it. I've lived it. I've grieved it. I've moved it on. See you later. And I'm putting it in a nutshell, in a very small nutshell, but it's a conscious decision. Like, my hearing loss is because someone hit me as a baby. Now, I found this out only a few years ago, that it was through abuse. I always suspected that there was something more to the story, because I was told 5 different stories of how I got my hearing loss. None of them made sense. So I can either, so now I've got a decision. Okay, I kind of suspected that my hearing loss was more to it than what met the eye. I'm never going to get the truth. So I can either continue to go through my life being angry about it, which incidentally won't change the fact that I'm deaf. I can hunt those people down that did this to me and tell them what I really think. They don't give a shit. They did it to me, as if they're going to care now. And they kept it a secret for that long. Or I can just go, fuck it. Like, I can't change it. I can be angry about it, but I need to live here. They don't. Or I can just go, you know what? It is what it is. It's okay. Like, my hearing loss is a pain in the ass. Yes, I didn't get to do a lot of the things. I don't get to hear a lot of things either. But they finally made a hearing aid that actually helped me hear. So, you know, whoopee-doo-dah. Has it impacted my life? No, because everything that was predestined for me has happened anyway. So it doesn't matter. So why allow that trauma and the hurt and the disappointment and all that anger to consume my now when it's so fucking irrelevant? I don't live there anymore. So Yeah.
What if you don't deal with it? What happens then?
It festers as resentment. It can turn up as cancers. It can turn up as anger. It can turn up in abusive relationships. You will attract the same types of people. You will self-sabotage. You will have anxiety because you feel like anxiety is not being able to control what's going on. A fear around being able to control. You can have eating disorders. There's all sorts of things. You can marry the wrong people. You can never get married. You can be an abusive parent. You can never want to be a parent. So many different things. It depends on how it manifests, where it manifests. Your astrology comes into it as well, obviously, because you'll have your planets where all this sort of stuff manifests and how you can work with it and complement those traumas that you had with how to deal with it better.
What if you let it go like this for your whole life? Is it hard to come good down the track, or is extremely difficult?
Look, a lot of people, Chiron return, which is a planet of wounds and healing, and Saturn returns most, I suppose, and Pluto to a degree, when they do their returns, they're pivotal moments in your life. Numerology calls them pinnacles, but there's a little bit bigger spread because the planets are slower moving planets. But it's another podcast. But basically, these are moments in your life that you've got an ability to redirect. And if you miss that, or you don't get it, or you haven't done enough work, it can be an extremely difficult transition for you. So if you get to your Saturn return at 28 years of age, then you do it again at 56, and you haven't really had a chance to change things around and move things up, and you've learned nothing and you haven't evolved, then your second Saturn transition could be extremely painful and difficult. It depends on how you've learned and how open you are to challenging yourself and challenging your environment and your society and your relationships. And because Saturn is a structure around you. So you're
pretty much fucked.
Pretty much. So I just look, it can be, and some people are completely clueless and they do that. And they just sail through it and they think, oh, life's always shit, I'm always getting a bad hand. But they've got the ability to change it around themselves. And I don't mean from a, turn yourself into Elon Musk or anything. I mean how you view things and your perception and your reality of that, perception in you is your reality, that sort of stuff. So, I actually love teaching people how to have the fuck it analogy, which is just, you know what, it is what it is. You can't change it. You can be angry about it. You can be bitter about it. That person, that situation doesn't live with you. You live with you. So you have a moral obligation and a sanity and a peaceful obligation to yourself to not carry that bullshit with you. Just unhinge that baggage trailer and leave it alone. You can talk about it. I just spoke about my hearing loss. There's no anger. There's no resentment. There's animation, but I'm animated anyway. But it doesn't impact me. I can have the memory without have the emotional attachment. And that's where I think a lot of people struggle, especially empaths, is they bring that memory up and they haven't done the work, or they don't want to do the work, and the emotional bullshit comes with it, and then they just relive it. And it's I would fucking hate to be on that roller coaster. I'd rather piss on it and walk away. It's like fucking whatever. Seriously. Yeah.
Time to
pack it up again.
We've all experienced it. You know what, I think I've experienced it a little bit, the negative stuff that goes on in your life, and I've cleared all my friends and I've started fresh,
Mm-hmm.
And, even in the writing community, you come across people that you don't get along with, and you just don't associate yourself with them, and you don't go out with them, and you just,
find your tribe that you vibe.
Sorry?
You just find the tribe that you vibe with. You don't need to.
Yeah. In the beginning, I used all these groups to better my writing and to actually go out there and, see what the world's about. It's like doing a Kentucky tour, when you first leave school.
Yeah.
You might do a Kentucky tour because you don't know how to travel.
Yeah.
But once you've been shown how to do it, you go and do it on your own. It's the same as riding a bike.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I think we're done for time.
Friends come and go in your life,
Yeah. I always say life is a garden, and you can choose
Yep.
to grow flowers or you can choose to grow weeds. And
Yep.
of the flowers, you know, and you have to water both. So you choose which one you're going to put your water on. And of your flowers, you can have any sort of flowers you like. You have to, you know, wet the bed daisies right through to gerberas and roses. It's entirely up to you what you have.
You know,
But it's your garden. You're the director.
I've moved around a lot in my life, and I've never really been established in one place, and I don't have lifetime friends, you know, like normal
Me
people
neither.
do,
Yeah.
you know. But I can count on one hand. Fuck, I'm trying to get this camera right. It's the opposite of everything I do. I can count on one hand, and I knew we said we wouldn't mention names, but that's only for specific topics or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I got put a big shout out to my good friends that I can count on the one hand, that I might not see them for months on end.
Doesn't
And
matter
then when I talk to them,
yeah.
I consider them my best mates, the ones that are closest to my heart, not including family, because my family is the most closest.
Yeah.
But I'm talking outside of, you know, blood here. My best mates are people such as Eddie. You know who you are.
Yeah.
Paul, you know who you are. Actually, Eddie S, Paul L, just so they know who they are.
I would know.
Miguel, I only have one Miguel friend. And Cash, who I don't really see, but everybody who knows me knows Cash. And I'd love to fucking meet up with a friend that I had many years ago. We lost contact. And I can't find his details anywhere, but his name's Fred. I did my associate diploma in applied science with the guy. We were best of mates, and everybody, all my cousins know who Fred is. And another two friends that I hardly see, but are really good friends, is Ramez and Rabi. Rabi now lives in Lebanon. So, you know, the last time I saw him was before he moved. But, you know, out of my whole existence of being here for 50 years, outside of my relatives or siblings or, you know, associated with, you know, that side of my family, they're my besties, and they expand over my whole life.
Yeah.
I just wanted to put a shout out to them.
I've got less.
And don't forget to hit that link notification button, you know, so you can get all the you know, all the good stuff that we talk about. Absolutely.
We call it a day again.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, you're doing that end of podcast smile, you weirdo.
To the podcast, mate.
Thank you very much for tuning in to Lost the Plot.
The podcast, right? Fucking lost.
Oh my God, he's a weirdo. I'm sorry for Michael. I'll just apologize in advance. All right, guys, thanks for and like and subscribe, and you'll see more.
On the next podcast, I'm gonna be even weirder. I'm gonna fucking give him my male chauvinistic fucking pig point of view to everything. Because I've been in trouble. I've been in trouble for expressing my point of view in the past couple of podcasts by certain individuals.
Not me. I don't give a shit. All right, guys. See you later.